Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here for Wlbt Plus. My name is Kara Shirley, and I'm your digital news desk host. We are going to join Chief Joseph Wade on a press conference that he is having right now, talking about the abduction of the 7-month-old child that happened this weekend, plus a couple of other crimes that happened.
Was abandoned at Brent's drugstore in Fonda. Made it to his destination, and he left the vehicle running with the child in the vehicle still. We were able to mobilize our team, our units. We did a mass search, mass canvass of the area. We relayed the information out to Capitol Police Department, and I want to thank them because they located the vehicle with the child in the vehicle unharmed. The child was taken to a local hospital as a precaution, but I want to solicit help from the community. First thing is, please do not leave your children in vehicles unattended. Please don't leave your vehicles running unattended with small children in the vehicle or anyone in the vehicle. Also, the suspect in this case appears to be an older white male or a light-skinned older black male. We'll be releasing that information just shortly as to the suspect. So if there's anyone who has any information about this particular case, please contact the Jackson Police Department at 601-960-1234 and 601-355-TIPS, Crime Stoppers. We have been asked questions in reference to possible charges against the mother. We are discussing that. We are communicating with the district attorney's office to see if we will be pursuing charges against her. But I am so thankful that this child was located. And I want to thank the community, and I also want to thank the Capitol Police Department and our JPD team for their quick response to locate this child. Any questions about the 7-month-old?
Chief, I know there's been some questions about why no Amber Alert was declared. Was that in the process? I know there's a lot of bureaucracy hoops you have to jump through before you do that.
There is.
Was that process initiated?
The process was initiated, and all of this happened within an hour, within 30 minutes of the call coming in and the actual vehicle and the child being recovered. So it happened very quickly, and we're thankful that it happened very quickly, that the child was recovered and the vehicle was recovered. But we had initiated that process with Mississippi Department of Public Safety to have an Amber Alert issued out.
And how much longer would it have taken if the child hadn't been
It's a very quick process. Now, we did not just sit and wait for the Amber Alert. We started reaching out. That's how Capitol Police knew that there was a missing child. So we started sending information out to our local partners that a child was missing, a 7-month-old child missing. And like I said, we have a great working relationship with the Mississippi Department of Public Safety as it relates to Amber Alerts, civil alerts, and they do a very good job. We just have to get them the information in a timely manner. And that's something that my team told me. That's the first question I asked, have we issued an Amber Alert? They told me upon contacting me that they were in the process of doing that with Mississippi Department of Public Safety.
I know other questions, and I don't want to belabor this point, but there is, because you don't want to be just randomly continually issuing Amber Alerts,
No.
there's a protocol.
There is.
Checkbox that you have to go through before, and you say it's quickly, but it's not as quickly as people think it is.
Oh, no, there's a criteria that it has to meet. A lot of times we get in situations where we have custodial situations where a father didn't bring the child back quick enough from the weekend visit. You know, we're not going to issue an Amber Alert on that. But so we have to vet the information. We have to make sure it's credible information. And we've had people to tell us that a child was in the vehicle and that vehicle was stolen just because they felt it would get a quicker police response. So we have to vet that information to make sure the information is accurate before we do that. But we felt in this situation, the information was accurate, and we mobilized, and just thank God that baby was found safely.
Have you seen this type of thing before where someone just picks up the car and
Oh, absolutely. It's happened before. It happened before. And we as adults, we as parents have to make sure that we don't leave our children in these vehicles. First of all, it's too hot. First of all, if it's too hot to leave them in there, that you got to leave the car running with the AC on, you need to maybe take them in the store with you. I know that a lot of times parents say, I'm just going to run in right quick and come back out. The criminal element is always afoot. They always are looking for a crime of opportunity, and a running car sitting there right in front of them is a great opportunity for them to steal that vehicle. And that's what happens more than not. And we have that happen when people in the wintertime, when they're warming their vehicles up in the driveway, you have a criminal element that's afoot. They're looking for those type of situations. When they see that exhaust coming from your vehicle and you're not in the vehicle, they're going to take that car. So we just have to be more efficient, more effective, and we have to make sure we protect our children. Don't put them in that particular situation. That's the most important thing. I mean, you can replace that car, but you cannot replace that baby. All right.
Have you guys had a chance to speak with the mom, and what did she say? And does a situation like this prompt an investigation? I know this may be stretching it, but a possible investigation by CPS?
Yes, it does. And we have spoken with the mother. Based on what my team told me this morning, she stated that when she got out of the vehicle, nobody was in the parking lot. And still, there's no reason to leave your child in a vehicle that's running in the city of Jackson or anywhere. So our juvenile unit division is conducting an investigation. As I stated earlier, we'll be communicating with CPS and the district attorney's office to see how we move forward in this investigation. We should be facing child neglect charges or something of that nature. We'll be looking at that as well. But we are also laser focused on finding out who this individual is who stole that car. I don't want to lose our focus on that. We want to find out who he is, why he did it, and hold him accountable, but also look at what charges would look like if we were to pursue them against the mother. But I want to thank the community. Again, I want to thank Capitol Police and our JPD team for finding this baby quickly. We just went through a horrific situation here with that child out of Louisiana, that I saw in the woods deceased. And that's the first thing that came to my mind. I did not want that happening again, especially here in the city of Jackson. So we breathed a huge sigh of relief when that baby was found safely.
We're seeing more and more cases. Like I said, I know before you became chief, like I said, we went to many from the Pepper Mill, from Willowwood, and the lady was going in taking child for daycare.
Yeah.
And,
well, the thing about it, when we've had these situations, we've been able to mitigate them really quickly, just like we did this weekend. So I hope that continues if those situations happen. But I hope that they don't happen. When you're talking about small children, I think back to the case where the young child was taken from Kroger up on 55, and then that child was killed. All of those things were going through my head, this weekend. And I just thank God that nothing happened to that baby, that the baby was found safely, and that we did everything that we could as a law enforcement agency to push the information out, to have a quick response by Capitol and us, and we're able to find that child.
People, one question. Was there any surveillance cameras in the area who may have caught anything about the suspect? I know you mentioned maybe white or possibly light skin.
We do have pictures that were captured by surveillance, and we'll be releasing that to you just shortly. He appears to be an older white male wearing some type of COVID type mask, hospital mask, either older white male or a light skinned older black male, what he appears to be. All right, any more questions on that one? All right, I want to talk about a homicide that we had early this morning about 1:30 a.m. in South Jackson on Cooper Road. My prayers and condolences go out to the family of Mr. Roy Love. He was killed at 516 Cooper Road. My understanding, he was providing security at that location, M&M Food Mart. He approached 3 young black males that were in the parking lot and asked them to leave. They subsequently attacked him. They took his weapon and they fired upon him with their weapon. Information started coming in from the community again about what had just happened and what had just transpired. Quick response by Precinct 1 officers. They got information that the suspects were in the Woody Drive area, Monticello Drive area in South Jackson. Precinct 1 along with Precinct 2 officers convened in that area. They did a search of the area. They were able to arrest 3 individuals, a Trin Wooten, 17 years of age, Zaylen Norton, 17 years of age, and a Candaris Cohen, 16 years of age, and charged all 3 with capital murder. Any questions about that situation, that incident?
Well, I do have a question. So what are your thoughts on, because I know at the beginning of the year, you said you wanted to cut the homicides in half.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was around 109 and then half is like 54. So right
Yes.
now we're at like 62, 63. Just how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, we're 63 compared to 67. Well, I feel that we have a lot of work to do as a law enforcement agency, as a community, as a city, as leaders in our community. We have a lot of work to do because the JPD team is doing a very, very good job in solving these cases. They're solving them before you even hear about them. Right now, we're at a 79% solvability rate. That's unheard of. You're talking about a national average of around 52%. And most of these homicides that we're having here in the city of Jackson, and I talk about it all the time, and you're talking about almost 60% of them are by acquaintances, family, friends, and loved ones. People killing people that know each other. There has to be a better way to deal with conflict outside of getting an assault rifle, going from 0 to an assault rifle. We have to do a better job with how to deal with conflict. We have to do a better job as far as our youth and what they're doing in the community, giving them something productive to do. And you're talking about this incident happening at 1:30 a.m. That's 2 17-year-olds and a 16-year-old out committing a capital murder. We have to do a better job as parents. We have to do a better job as parents to know the whereabouts of our 16 and 17-year-olds. These individuals were not in a vehicle, they were on foot. All right, one was on a bicycle. You know, I saw the surveillance footage. It was all captured. The homicide, the killing of this man trying to do his job was all captured on video. So I do want to commend the citizens of Jackson for sharing their video surveillance with us, whether it's at a business or their home. That is contributing to this huge solvability rate, this exceptional solvability rate of 79%. The community getting involved, sharing information, giving us information. They gave us information about this case. These juveniles who had just taken this 60-year-old man's life who was simply trying to do his job.
And Chief,
Very sad.
do we know why they attacked this security
It
officer?
was a robbery. Based on the information we got, they were trying, this is very bold. They were trying to steal the security guard's gun. And they succeeded. They got it. And they took his life in the process. Unbelievable. There's a failure, there's a breakdown on so many levels for that to be happening. I know there's a movement for security at a lot of businesses, and that's great. But when you have individuals, juveniles who are attacking the security and taking their guns and taking their life, there's an issue. There's a huge issue, there's a huge problem, and we all have to take ownership in this. We're not going to police our way out of this situation. We can hold these individuals accountable. That's what we're going to do as we move forward. These 3 juveniles have been charged with capital murder. They're going to be held accountable for their actions, but it's a very sad day when you have this gentleman lose his life in such a heinous, reckless, careless way that's all captured on video.
And Chief, kind of speaking on that, I know council members passed an ordinance to provide security outside these businesses. Do you think that's a good start, or does what need to be done?
Well, I think that is a tool. I think it is a layer to address these issues, but I would challenge these businesses that as you hire security, make sure that they're adequately trained on gun retention. make sure they're trained on what the laws are and what their ability is and what they can and can't do. You know, if you try to take my weapon, you're going to be in for a fight, because first of all, it's not going to come out that easily. But we are taught how to weapon retention. We have to make sure that the security guards have been trained properly, that it's a reputable company and not just somebody that has a gun. And I'm not just saying that that's the case in this situation. I don't know what that gentleman's background was. I'm just saying going forward, make sure that it is a reputable, well-trained person, because you're dealing with a criminal element now. You're not dealing with somebody, you know, in the, you know, backyard of a, you know, farm or something. You're dealing with a criminal element in an inner city environment. And most of the time you're going to be outgunned. They're going to have an assault rifle. They're going to have something that's more powerful than what you have. So you have to know how to deal with that. And you also have to know how to disengage and call law enforcement.
But Chief, you're talking about teenagers.
Yes.
Committing this horrendous crime.
Very.
Is there any thought on possibly holding the adults who should have been knowing what these teens were while they were out committing this violent crime?
And that's something that I have often talked about, holding parents accountable. And that's something that we're going to continue to look at, things that we're going to continue to talk about as we look at these particular individuals. I'm sure this was not their first incident. I'm sure this was not their first criminal act. So it's something that I will continue to look at as far as holding parents accountable. But I will need the support of our criminal justice system. Even if I charge them, they have to be prosecuted. So it's a conversation that we will have to have with our district attorney's office to see if it's something that they're willing to do as we move forward. But at some point, we've got to draw a line in the sand. Hey, you have got to be held accountable for the actions of your child. Your child just took this man's life. A 60-year-old man just trying to make a living for his family is no longer here because your 16-year-old is out at 1:30 in the morning and your 17-year-old is out at 1:30 in the morning. They had a plan to rob the security guard and take his weapon, right? So, you know, it's very disgusting to me that this happened. My heart goes out to the family, and I saw the video. To see the video is terrifying to me. To see this man go out here and try to engage these young men, then they attack him. It's very, very, very hurtful to see that.
Do we know if they killed him with his own gun?
Based on our investigation, they had a weapon. And my understanding, they fired upon him with their weapon, but they did take his weapon in the process. Very sad that we have 16-year-olds that are perpetuating this violence. And the thing about it, we have to be honest, and I'm going to continue to beat the drum about this as long as I'm the chief of police. We have a gang issue here in the city of Jackson. We have a gang issue here in the city of Jackson, and we have to address these issues. We have to lean into them. We have to seek resources to deal with them, because we're going to continue to have these type of incidents if we don't, you know, address the real issue. And we're seeking help and assistance from the U.S. Attorney's Office. Todd G has been amazing. We've had several conversations with him about bringing resources into the city of Jackson to address this gang issue. And we continue to hear about it daily and weekly. And it's a cycle: drug activity, gang activity, retaliation, drug activity, gang activity, retaliation. And I'm sure that they weren't taking his gun just to put it in a safe somewhere. They were going to use it. But thank God we have them and we have the weapon.
Do you know if he had drawn his weapon as before they approached him?
No, he had not drawn his weapon. It was still on his side.
Do you have the spelling of the names?
We'll give that to you in a press release. I'm sure I didn't pronounce their name properly. God knows sometimes it looks a certain way, but it was two 17-year-olds and a 16-year-old.
And speaking of the guns, Chief, lately from these arrests, where are some of the youth that are getting these guns from?
That's the $1 million question. The availability and accessibility of guns in our community is overwhelming. You can get guns in almost any community or any setting here in the city of Jackson. And also we have vehicles that are being burglarized that have guns in the vehicle. So now that gun is out on the street. So again, we ask citizens, when you go in your home at night, take that gun out of your vehicle, because it's contributing to some of our major issues here in the city of Jackson. But a lot of the guns that we're getting are assault rifles. And we know that these guns are being purchased at gun shows or some type of straw purchases or stuff of that nature. But also we're recovering guns with Glock switches on, which makes these guns fully automatic. When I worked in homicide for 9 years, the gun of choice was a 9mm or 357. These assault rifles, you're not going to survive that encounter because of the amount of rounds that they're ejecting at a single shooting. You're not going to survive that encounter. So that contributes to our numbers as you talk about homicides. Now, I have one more homicide I do want to talk about, our 62nd homicide. As I stated, we're at 63 this time this year compared to 67. And that was the homicide of Mr. Willie Luckett. Willie Luckett, he was shot at around 4:40 a.m. Sunday morning at Club Twilight, 3040 Livingston Road. We do have a person of interest in that case, but we're asking and we're soliciting help from the community. If you have any information about the homicide that happened at Club Twilight early Sunday morning, please contact the Jackson Police Department at 960-1234 or Crime Stoppers at 355-TIPS. We're very interested in your information and we want to bring justice to Mr. Willie Luckett's family. Any questions? All right, great.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
And we are back. And so that was Chief Joseph Wade speaking with us from the Jackson Police Department and giving us an update on some of the crimes that happened over the weekend. Probably the one that is most notable was the 7-month-old child who was abducted. Her mother left her in the vehicle when she was going inside to the store. Chief Wade said during the press conference that the mother even said there was nobody in the parking lot when she went inside. So the child was located unharmed, thank Lord. And Chief Wade said that he wanted to thank the community for their help in this, but they're also continuing to ask for help. They do have a suspect who was seen on a security camera, and they say he is either an older white male or an older light-skinned black male. And they are going to be releasing that footage to us very shortly. But he also asked to not leave your vehicles unattended. A lot of people get out, leave their vehicle cranked to run inside, like a store or something along those lines. And even like within this case, the child was left in their car seat in the vehicle when the mother ran inside. Chief is asking, please don't do that. Don't leave your vehicle unattended. Don't leave it cranked, open, and especially do not leave your children inside the vehicle. If it's hot enough to leave them in the vehicle and with the AC running, go ahead and take them inside. And that really should just go for any time. Go ahead and take your children inside with you. So there was the process began to have an Amber Alert issued in this case. However, the child was found before the Amber Alert could go out. It was asked if situations like this could prompt an investigation with CPS or investigation charges against the mother or the parent from the Jackson Police Department. And Chief Wade said that they are investigating currently to see if there should be charges placed against the mother. They're talking with the DA, and also CPS has been notified of this. And so they will probably be doing their own investigation. But he is looking into if there are grounds for charges against the mother, possibly for child neglect or something along those lines. And they will continue to keep us updated. Chief Wade also wanted to thank the Capitol Police for their assistance in the locating of the child, as well as his officers with the Jackson Police Department. Chief then went on to tell us about a homicide that happened, and this happened on 516 Cooper Road. It was at a M&M Food Express, and there was a security guard there on duty. So they say the security guard approached 3 young black males in their parking lot that were just kind of loitering in the parking lot. And he approached them to ask them to leave, get out of the parking lot. The 3 juveniles then attacked the security guard, stole his gun, and then ended up shooting and killing him. Now, they did not shoot him with his own weapon. They stole his weapon, but they also had a weapon on them, and that is what they shot and killed the security guard with. His name was Roy Love. So Precinct 1 and 2 here in Jackson went to that call, and they had got reports of the juveniles being in the woods. They searched the woods and they were able to find them. It was 17-year-old, and I did not get their first names. We will be getting that in a separate press release, and we will let you guys know that. But we have a 17-year-old with the last name of Wooten, another 17-year-old with the last name of Norton, and a 16-year-old, I believe, with the last name of Cohan, something along those lines. They were all charged with capital murder in the killing of Roy Love. Chief went on to say 60% of crime here in Jackson is between people who know each other or acquaintances, domestic type of situations. But however, in this situation, what it was youth being out. It happened at 1:30 in the morning, around 1:30 in the morning. It was caught on security guard or security camera, the entire thing. And that these juveniles who should not have been out in the middle of the night, 1:30 in the morning, should have been home. And he went on to state that we have to do a better job as parents. He is looking into holding parents accountable for the youth crimes, but he also went on to say that they will need support from the justice system, from the people in the courts and things here in the area. So that is another thing that they are looking into. There was also another murder that happened, and this happened at Club Twilight here in Jackson. And Club Twilight is located on Livingston Road. A man by the name of Willie Luckett was killed in this. He says, Chief Wade says that they do have someone, a suspect in mind for this, but they are also asking the community, the people, if you have any information on this shooting, on this this death, to please contact Jackson Police Department or Crime Stoppers. So again, they are still looking for the individual that stole the vehicle with the 7-month-old child inside of it, and they believe it is a older white male or an older light-skinned black male. We'll be getting that information out to you guys as soon as we receive it from them. Murder that happened for a security guard. It was killed, Roy Love, killed by 3 youth, and they have all been arrested and charged with capital murder. And he is still requesting help from the public for the murder of Willie Luckett, which happened on Livingston Road at Club Twilight. So if you have any information on those, please contact Jackson Police Department or Crime Stoppers. We're going to now cut to our 12 o'clock newscast, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate all of your comments there on social media, and we will be back with Wlbt Plus in just a little bit. Thank you, guys.